Morning, guys. I come out here the other night and played with this a little bit just to kind of see how it's going to work out. I think I'm going to be able to fix this. But I've got other ones that I haven't touched. This one I have kind of played with a little bit, but I'll take you in on detail on some of these other ones. This one here I'm just going to try to finish up a little bit. This was a pretty good one. And so what I've done here, I'll just kind of give you a quick overview. It was lower on the outside. It had been hit, whatever happened in the middle, pressed up. It's a pretty good lump. When it pressed that up, it drops the metal next to it, so you've got these lows. So what you're trying to do is get them back to level. I can still feel it is high right in here, and so I'm going to continue to kind of work it a little bit and use a Sharpie to go back over it. I've got a piece of 180 grit, contoured my shape perfectly here, and then just run back and forth across. You can see where it come up. We've got a good one here and just a little, just real low right here. So I really need to work on this one here. I can kind of see it's still low here. So I'm going to work this one that way just a little bit. Now what I've got is you want to get a dolly as close to the shape of this as you can. So what I've got is this one here, and I'll put it right up underneath my low spot. And you'll listen as I do this. Listen, you've got hammer on dolly and hammer off dolly. A lot of you guys probably already know this. I'm talking to the people who don't. I actually had several people say, hey, I'd really like to see how you do this. So I'm going to take you along for it. So here's what we do. You get your dolly, you put it up underneath your low spot, and you'll be able to hear hammer on versus hammer off dolly. I'm going to hammer off dolly to begin with on this, and try to move this high metal and level it out with this low metal. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And you can tell when you stick it up underneath there, you get it kind of contoured up, you're going to kind of lift up on this, and like right here, listen to the ring. Okay, that's hammer on, that's hammer on, that's hammer off. Let's see. That's so you can see you're hitting your metal. So I'm going to move it over a little bit until it's hammer off dolly. And I'm going to go this direction, coming towards you guys, because I'm trying to push it that way. Just lightly hitting this because this is really thin stuff. Make sure that's under there. Alright, let's see if we did any good at all. Now if I didn't do any good, if it didn't move it, I need to tap it a little harder. If I did good, then I know I'm right where I need to be. So that's kind of how you can gauge that. Most of this is common sense. It's not like I've recreated the wheel or anything. I mean, like I always say, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. But if it freaking works, it works. So, and this has worked for me for a long time now. So, that's the way I do it. All right, so here we go again. See what we got accomplished here. Okay, now I can tell it's still obviously it's still high, but it's a little bit better than it was. So that's good. I'm going to continue to maybe just use a little bit more, but not a lot. Just a little bit more force, and I can feel that that's actually lowered. Still got a spot over here I'm going to have to work, but I'm going to work it this direction because it's a little low here. So, yeah, I'm just going to tap that just a little bit more and try to get the rest of that out of there. And it's really important you get that dolly right underneath that low spot and pull up. And if you have to, the good thing when you have it on the car, you don't have to worry about it because you're just using your arm muscles to push this up. This, I can lift it. So I'm literally lifting it up off the table a little bit. You hear that? That's hammer on. It means I need to move my dolly over till it's hammer off. There you go. Now we're talking. I don't want to go too hard with it. Just a little bit. This takes patience because, again, it may still not move very much. I have to keep going back over this and over until I get it exactly where I want it, but that's just part of this deal. Just got to be patient. Or you don't, or you can cave it and pave it. You know, I mean, that's an option too. It's all about, you know, I mean, if you're working in a body shop and you don't have time to sit and do this, you're not trying to perfect your craft, then, man, you got to do what you got to do to make money. I get it. I mean, you just, shoot, this is a 3-minute dent, you know. Beat it down with your hammer, pave it over, move on. You're done. Okay, it's really doing pretty good still. Still got low here, still a little bit high here, so I'm going to basically do the same thing. I'll probably get a little bit more aggressive with this and try to push up here a little harder. I may, let's see, I'm just going to get this right underneath that freaking, right under here, like that, where you can hear it. Okay, and then push up real good. Okay, a little more aggressive that time. Let's see how we feel. It feels really damn good. That feels really good. Still got a spot I haven't worked over here I need to get to a little bit more. But man, that feels really good. Even at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'll stop talking about it and do it. I'm thinking about due for a new Sharpie here because this one's not really, it's working, but it's not working great. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me see what you, yeah, it looks like you can. Same. Let's go in the other direction. Come under this low spot here that's black, find my area, lift up, we'll listen for my on dolly, there it is, off dolly, up, we got to move it over, there we go, that's what you're listening for. That was on dolly, so I got to move it over a little more. Got a little low spot right here that looks a little lower than the rest, so I'm going to put my dolly right underneath that and really press up there. That's on dolly, I got to move it. That's on dolly. Alright, now let's take a look at it. See if that did any good at all. That last tap, you heard me hit the dolly. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. Let's see if I can run this across here real quick. Just lightly, just to kind of see where my highs and probably put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Now even right here, I can already see my scratches are even coming down into these lower spots. And the scratches are obviously hitting the higher spots, but that means that's really damn close. I mean, I'm literally there on this one. So all I'm doing now is just barely, I mean, you can see maybe some tiny little flakes, but I'm not taking no pressure whatsoever. I'm just letting this glide back and forth, letting the blade do the work. compressor shut off, so you guys can hear me. Now you got some scratches, just fine scratches. It's 80 grit on a DA, it'll take that right out of there. That feels amazing. I'm real happy with that. Really, all I'm trying to do there is get the scratches out from that file. Because 80 grit's not really going to cut into that metal at all. And there you go. So, and that one looked like this one. So I'll take you along on this one. You see what it looks like now. You can see my low, you can see my high. And we'll do the same thing here. And we'll try to get it to look just like that. That's what we're after. I'll bring you guys back. Alright, I sat and studied this for a little bit. And I'm changing up my plans here. And how we're going to approach this. We're going to do some hammer-on dolly here, because looking at this, and I've used a couple of different tools you can use, a little flexible ruler, kind of look in there and see in a bigger picture how this is looking. And it is actually, to me, it's looking like, as I look at this, instead of these being high, these are low. So same principle would work. You're pulling up and tapping, but here what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do hammer-on dolly. So what I'm going to do is stretching this metal to come back up to meet this metal. You don't want to tap here, you only want to tap in the dark spots. And I'll use my slapping spoon to basically do the same thing and move the metal as much as possible. Low, high, low, just like that, same deal. Trying to bring this up. If this is in fact, like I think it is, after sanding this whole area and seeing that this all looks like it's good and these are actually lower, I'm going to bring that metal up to meet that. So here we go with that. I'm going to put some ear protection on for this because it'll be loud. Slapping spoon, metal on metal. Here's something I find a little interesting. I have not touched this with a grinder of any shape, form. I did the DA up here, but that's it. and you can see all these grinder marks. Someone's run a grinder all over this thing. Why? My only guess to run a grinder over this after it was stamped, because it's not all over here. There's no grinder marks over here. There's no grinder marks up in here. They tried to fix this. This was a mess up that they knew about. They come out of the deal kind of messed up, and the boss said, "Hey, just beat on that, get that out of there a little bit. We'll throw it in a box and send it." That's the only thing that I can think of, because otherwise, why would there be grinder marks in here? So I'm literally fixing someone else's half-ass attempt at trying to fix this, which again makes it that much more challenging, because somebody's already been here and been doing something. I don't know if they shrunk on it already. I don't know what they've done, but they've definitely been here with some kind of a more coarse grinder, and that's a direct drive grinder. It's not a, well, probably most grinders are direct drive, but it's not a DA. You can tell by the way the scratches run. I mean, it is a big circle, just doing a circle instead of actually orbiting on it. Anyway, I thought I'd bring you back on that. You can see I'm working this out. Still a little low through here. Still working some of this out. I still may be a little bit high right here. I may end up having to shrink this when it's all said and done. But we're going to keep working it and see what we can get away with here. I got this little dolly. Same shape here. Just a little easier for me to hold. I'm going to put it right behind this area here. Tap that up. Because this is such a small little area, I'm going to go ahead and use a hammer instead of using this, because if I did this, I'd end up slapping the rest of this too, and I don't want to do that. So I'll take my low crown hammer. I really need to be able to hear this ding. Those headphones, I can't hear. Head protection, hearing protection, I can't hear squat. There we go. Same effect here, I'm just planishing it up. Alright, game time. Here's where we got to be careful. Or at least I got to be careful. Got my wet rag, it's not soaked, it's just damp. I'm just going to baby this thing along here. Just ever so slightly. Just want to hit this high spot just a little bit. Don't want to get crazy. Just trying to shrink that little area right in there. Oh yeah, that feels really good. Hit this area right in here just a little bit. Said I'm just barely wanting to heat that up. You don't want that thing moving. You don't want it hot up here at all. You don't want it moving across there. You're just barely heating that bad boy up. Feels pretty daggone good. Turn this off. really no reason to spend this much time on this. This is set to a point where you could just put a little glaze down and you're done, good to go. You just have to make sure that your metal's just a little lower in certain areas. Like this might still be just a little bit high, and I need to go ahead and keep working that. I'm going to work this, continue to work it over that direction. But yeah, I've gone way beyond what most body people would. They would be like, oh hell no. My last boss would have fired me for this because I'm losing him money at this point. Alright guys, here we go. It's finished product. I'll try to get you in close and hopefully that'll zoom. Little goofy imperfection that'll fill. I'm just not going to sit and spend a whole lot more time. So yeah, that turned out pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's way better than it was. And so we fixed it, and now I've got to work on this one. This is the one that I showed you guys was hit in pretty hard, so I'll just have to pull that back out. And you can see it there. And I may bring you along for that. This video is probably going to be pretty long. I may have to edit some of it just to get it down shorter because people's attention spans are pretty short. So we'll see you. Alright, real quick on this one. This whole flange and everything got bent in. So when I put a straight edge, and that's how wherever I did with my straight edge, there it is. Put my straight edge up there on it. Now you come back here and your straight edge pretty much is flat. So I assume as it comes up, and I say assume, I went to the other side and checked it and it's flat as well. So basically what I have to do is, I don't know if that'll show or how well it will show, but I actually have to pull this whole area back out, which means I have to bend this flange back out to release all of this. So I've been working on this and then pulling down at the same time, trying to, tapping down and just trying to work it out. Doing the best I can. So this being more than just a regular dent, because of this holding it, I have to get what's holding it out and then start trying to work this flat and smooth. Dent feels a lot better, but it's still pretty damn rough. I'm gonna have to work that, and I'll be at it for a little bit, but we'll try to get her done. So you can see, check your parts before you get them out of the box, and you have to do this. Or after you get them out of the box, my bad. Can't check them before. Alright, I'll keep working. Alright, that's all I got there. Better than it was. We fixed her up. I'll give you one more shot down this thing. That was fun because this whole flange was bent in, so I had to straighten the flange out to release that to come out and then work that metal out. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, just so you know. There was a lot of hammer and dolly work in that one there, but we got her straightened out, as you can see. Like I said, not perfect, but you know what? It'll work. My guess is primer ought to fill that. It's pretty good. Of course, I'll slick sand the whole car, so it won't matter. But I almost forgot. I was going to show you guys or tell you that just a little trick from me to you. You might be saying, hey, that's in bare metal and you're going to be touching it and, you know, all the whole stuff, and it could, you know, if it's humid, it's going to rust and all that kind of stuff. Yes, and you can sand that off with 80 grit on DA if you have spots like that. Or you can do what I've done here, and I put, you know, a little bit of Eastwood guide coat over it. Thanks, Tom. Tom sent me all this. You don't have to use Eastwood, just guide coat, a little bit of something just to cover the metal. Looks like I need to hit it a little bit more right in there, but yeah, just something like that, just to kind of put a little bit of something on top, and that'll keep it from rusting. And now I can touch it and I can do whatever I need to do, and when I come back to you know, do my body work, I can literally take just a little bit of lacquer thinner and that stuff will wipe right. Literally, if I put lacquer thinner, it'll run off onto the floor. Like that right there, little spot, that's that black magic marker. I took lacquer thinner and just run it across there, and that black magic marker just went off into the floor. That stuff will do the same thing. It'll just run right off there. Just wipe it off with a rag and your bare metal again and go to town. So, a little tip. Figured I'd give you a quick shot. Black on it. You can't hide anything from black. I'll kind of give you an idea how she turned out. Some of these darker spots are the guide coat, where it's lighter here and it's darker here. It's not, I don't know what that'll look like in the camera, but just letting you know. This is all darker guide coat. It's where I sprayed several coats on there. Not thick enough here, you know. It's thick enough, I mean, but it's just looking uneven, basically. That's what I'm getting at.